Ladies and gentlemen, we are live in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage here, the only platform where all music and wrestling matters. Sportswire Radio, and we are less than 24 hours away from yet even more heat wave chaos in the WVWF. And what better way to get us ready for it? Well, maybe the definition of chaos. Maybe the definition of somebody that's sick and twisted and may even play a huge role in this institute, which, boy, has been front and center in things, and they are going to be front and center, especially tomorrow night in the main event of Heat Wave Chaos. We're going to ask our guest plenty about that. I'm going to bring up this guy, Wyatt Black, all of a sudden now in the institute, and what did I just see with Riku St. Helen and her dad? And our guest, of course, wrestled Riku St. Helen. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about that WVWF Women's Championship that she holds. We'll talk about the Chemical Valley gunslinger James Enoch. There are some out there like Courtney Wood, who was here yesterday, that said, did James Enoch go too far? I'll ask our guest about that. I'll ask our guest maybe how fitting it is that she's on top in the WVWF Women's Division, because she was really the person that started it all. And maybe I'll even talk about a guest coming on here Sunday that some way or another owes the Institute something. Yeah, I'm going to explain all of that. I'm going to even have something for the Institute's guest, Jayde May, for here on Sportswire Radio. No, Phoebe Harper's not going to be here. No, Riku St. Helen's not going to be here on Sportswire Radio. But we'll certainly get to that. But since I see our chat has arrived and the champion looks like she might tear me up into a whole new limb, because after all, she is sick and twisted, and I don't want to turn into Riku St. Helen. I don't want to turn into Brittany Storm. I most certainly don't want to turn into Phoebe Harper, and I certainly don't want to turn into her bad side right now. The champion's looking at me. It is now time to start this show off in style. But before I do it, because I see our chats here, the champ is looking at me, in the famous words of Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott, let's get rocked, baby, because it is time to start this show and this weekend here in style on the road to Heatwave Chaos on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one what show from maybe the most premier group in all of West Virginia, and certainly in the WVWF, from the Institute, the reigning, defending WVWF Women's Champion. Her name is simply put the sick and twisted Jayde champ is here, my friend. How are we doing?
I am doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm glad to hear that because I want to keep you doing fantastic. I most certainly don't want you to turn sick and twisted on me because that could certainly happen if I certainly get out of line here. We're going to try our best not to do that. We are less than 24 hours away from Heat Wave Chaos, the latest WVWF show. I'll have that poster up here in a few minutes for it, but Jayde May, the sick and twisted one. For those that are listening and watching here on Sportswire Radio in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you and the Institute most certainly helped build, talk about what it means to you to be the reigning, defending WVWF Women's Champion.
Well, what it means to me is that I've proven to everybody in that locker room that I can do it. Not only to them, but to myself. You know, everybody wants to talk about they want the champ, they want it to be the title, they want it, but you got to earn it. And I definitely earn it. So
no question about that. No, you definitely have earned it. And it's kind of fitting to me that you're the champion. You're front and center of all this. And we'll talk about your most recent match last week in a minute. But when you think about the women's division here in the WVWF over these past several months, the person that's been front and center and almost in some ways has started it all is, well, you, the sick and twisted Jayde May champ. I think it's kind of fitting that you are the champion because you kind of started it all almost.
Yes, I have. And then that's the thing, like a lot of them forget who I am and what I've done. And I'm just going to put this out clear as day.
Mm-hmm.
I am the first woman from this generation and this time being. I am the first women to start this back up. So I am going to say that I started this women's revolution in WVWF. I'm just saying that because I'm the one that started it. I've been there from day one. There has been women that came and women that come and go, and I have stuck it out for 2 years. 2 years I have stuck it out.
That says a lot, and it's funny you said that because when Lester was here at Double L, the lovable Lester, our general manager, we talked a lot about the impact of the women's division. We talked about this women's revolution, and we've certainly seen that in the WVWF. And I guess, how do you feel then when maybe you don't get the credit that you deserve? It sounds to me that you've stuck it out, and others, they haven't. They've come and go, and almost like the train. The train leaves the station like the Double L, and yet you've continued to be here on time. You've continued to be here bright and early. You've continued to be front and center. And how does that make you feel with all of that? Maybe some don't maybe give you that credit that you deserve.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes into why I am who I am because it feels like a slap to the face. And I have respect for everyone in the back. I'm just to say that. But when you start stepping up, I want to see you step up. And that's what it means to be a champ. You step up or you step aside. That's all I got to say.
Well, you know what? And we're going to talk a lot about that here over the next hour or so. And I want to segue into some things because I want to talk about your group, the Institute, because there is a lot to get into here. And, you know, you're on this poster here, and a lot of your Institute members here are on this poster, which is Heat Wave Chaos. It's taking place 24 hours. Now you can see our logo on here, and go to the WVWF's Facebook page if you want to buy a ticket. Now, the Institute is going to be front and center, champ, tomorrow night because we're going to see our WVWF champion, Aaron James. We're going to see our hybrid champion, who was in your chair last week, the Chemical Valley gunslinger, James Enoch. Boy, we'll talk about him. And the newest member of the Institute, Wyatt Black, and they're going to be in action against Tony Sane, because we know Tony Sane and Wyatt Black have been going at it for weeks. Nate Steele, and I'll get to Nate Steele and his opponent last weekend. And then one Damian Abel, who has had plenty of history with James Enoch and certainly Aaron James. And what do you expect here coming up in our main event tomorrow night in this six-man tag match, especially from the Institute's perspective, champ? What's your thoughts?
I'm going to be honest. I think this match is going to be brutal. I think.
Yeah, objectively speaking, I would expect nothing less.
I mean, we have to go to war. And that's what the Institute is all going to be about. We are taking over. Every group that has come in our way, we are taking over. It is time that they realize that the ones that have been putting in the work and the ones that have been sitting there sweating and doing everything they possibly can, we are taking over. There has been a group that Wyatt Black started, and we even told him this before he started coming into the institution. You can't start a group and then just let it die. So if you're going to be a part of us, you got to be with us, not against us.
It's interesting, and you talk about Wyatt Black, because Wyatt Black, if you would have said to me a month ago, you would have said to me 3 months ago when he first came on to Sportswire, and he would be in the Institute, I don't know if I would have saw that coming, but from what you said about the WVWF, and you talked about putting in the work, you talked about being here, Wyatt Black has maybe in a way told us without telling us that he was going to join the Institute. Why do I say that? Because he talked about here on Sportswire Radio, Champ, in his most recent appearance, he talked about the WVWF was his home. He's helped build and grow the WVWF to come to places like Sportswire Radio. And he talked about the fact that outsiders have tried to come in here to the WVWF and take it away from people like Wyatt Black, people like the Chemical Valley gunslinger James Enoch, people like our champion Aaron James, and certainly someone like yourself. And maybe we should have saw this coming all along, that Wyatt Black was going to be right here with you and the rest of the Institute.
Yeah. And that's the thing. He is not wrong. When he said that there's people that come in and take our spot, I find it funny because a lot of people want to talk about how good they are, but don't prove it. They just don't. And that's what I got to say. Like, when you were in the ring with me, you got to prove to me that you deserve a title shot. It's not.
Well, you've got that title and you've got that championship for a reason. I'm going to talk about your most recent match and another member, I guess, of the Institute, or we'll talk about that in a minute. But Wyatt Black, to me, you just said some things that maybe he's been doing on his own. Maybe he's been putting in the work. Maybe he's shown that, you know what? He did, after all, for a few minutes, 3 minutes, as a matter of fact, hold that hybrid championship. And now he's starting to show that hard work is paying off, and being in a group with the rest of yous, yourself included, that maybe now Wyatt Black, we should have been listening to him, and they don't call him the controversy king for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people are forgetting, and I've said it before, don't sleep on us. Don't sleep on the Institute, because when we are here, and it is major. I want everyone that's watching to know if you come to our show, there is going to be something special tomorrow. Best believe that.
Well, I have no doubt about that. And certainly Heatwave Chaos is coming up. We're less than 24 hours from now, and that's going to take place at 325 7th Street in the Richardson Building in Parkersburg, West Virginia. We love Parkersburg, West Virginia. We love the WVWF, so please go out there. It is only $10 to buy a ticket. Champ, I was here in Manhattan earlier this week, and I spent more than 3 times that on my dinner. You can buy 3+ tickets and see some of the very best in our sport wrestle instead of having that dinner. So go out there, buy the tickets. I'm telling you, you won't want to miss it. The WVWF puts on some of the best shows out there, not just in West Virginia, but all of wrestling. Please support them. I'll put the YouTube link up, the Instagram link up, and we'll certainly talk plenty about that over the next hour or so. But, it's funny because I think all of you seem, at least from the most recent promo, that there is a common goal. And, James Enoch was here last Friday. I alluded to that. We talked about a little bit about some different things that you also said. You talked about the fact about putting the work in. James Enoch said practically those same words last Friday on Sportswire Radio. He talked about sometimes the fans have cheered him, sometimes they haven't. But whether you agree with his tactics or not, he has been putting in the work, and he wants to be the best hybrid champion there was. He wants to put that championship to a place it's never been, kind of like with what you're doing right now with the women's championship. We know Wyatt Black now is looking to make the WVWF the place that the controversy king is front and center. It's his playground, and we've got our champion, of course, who I'm going to get to, Aaron James, in a minute. So in a way, it seems like from my recollections from Wyatt Black and James Enoch last week, and now hearing from you, champ, you all seem to be on the same page, and you all seem to see eye to eye right now, which maybe for the first time, we've got all of you seeing that, and that could make you guys even more deadly for the months and years to come.
Yes. And that's the thing, like, last show, we told everybody we are unstoppable, and we're going to prove that. We are going to prove that because, just like you just said, we are all on the same page. It doesn't take a coincidence to realize that when we came together and was like, wow, we are all on an agreement and we have an assignment. So that assignment is going to be coming true tomorrow. And I want everyone to know, do not sleep on the Institute. There is something coming that's going to blow your mind. Just going to blow you.
Oh, my God. You know, certainly this has been quite a week in the world of music and wrestling, and it looks like now the Institute is going to top that further. But, you know, I want to ask you this question because Wyatt definitely seemed bothered by it, and I'm sure you're going to probably say something about it. There are a lot of outsiders recently that have come into the WVWF. I see some people here right now that don't work for the WVWF, or maybe not call the WVWF their full-time home, like, oh, the USWA Universal Champion, Daniel Tafua, and the returning gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godric Sandwell, who apparently wants to have a chat with Phoebe Harper. I mean, the fabulous Phoebe Harper. I don't know how that's going to go. I'll leave that at that, but it must bother you now that all of a sudden, all of these outsiders, we certainly see the collective, Dave Jamison, the USWA Keystone Champion, you know, Ampo the Destroyer. I mean, all these different outsiders now are looking to make their home in the WVWF, and that must bother you in the Institute, I would imagine.
It don't bother us that they're good talent. I'll give them that. On a good day, they're good talent. But the Institute came together to make one statement and one statement only, is that we've been there and we welcome new talent. Let me just say that we welcome new talent.
Yeah.
But there's a price to pay. There is a price to pay.
Ooh, a price to pay. You know, I wouldn't even want to speculate on what that price is to pay. But I know that I don't want to pay that price, so I'm going to put the WVWF's YouTube link up here because we want to get it some more subs, and we've gotten it some recent new subscribers, and I want to make sure we continue to support the WVWF. You can do that right here by hitting that sub button for me. We will get to the chat. There are some people here in the chat that are going to be there in the Richardson building tomorrow. I'll get to them. They'll have plenty to say, I'm sure, but hit the sub button first in the meantime for the WVWF, and I'll have something for the champion in a few minutes. But I want to talk to you about your most recent match, because obviously a lot of people didn't see what happened after the match, and that is obviously your match against Riku St. Helen. Obviously, Riku St. Helen is returned to the WVWF. We know her history with one Wyatt Black, and I was curious what your thoughts were on what happened afterwards, and Riku St. Helen's dad almost the turn heard round the world, at least in West Virginia. What was your thoughts on all of that? You know, this is the first anybody's asking you about this, and I have to ask it to you here.
We're going to be a little controversial here.
Okay. Okay.
See, I was in the middle of the match, right? And
right. I'm listening.
I thought I had it, right? And of course, people were going to say that I lost because of what happened. But you know what's funny is I didn't know they came out. I did not know. That was a big surprise to me. So if anyone's going to blame me, I'm going to put that on blast right now. Don't blame me, because then we're going to have some issues. And you don't want issues with me. I'm going to tell you that you don't want issues with me.
Yeah, I don't want to have any issues with you, champ. I certainly don't.
But however, I would like answers. I would like answers from Riku's dad, because he had no business being out there in my match with his daughter. And then for the fact that he turned on her, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't. It's just all one big blur to me because again, I didn't
So
cause
you
it.
had nothing to, so you had nothing to do with what happened between Riku and her father. That just want to make that clear for us.
Nope. No, no. Hey, I may pay off the ref one time. That was just one time.
Well,
That's change.
I'm not going to ask you the currency exchange on that, to quote one guest, and here in radio, a payola is illegal, so I'm going to leave that at that. But all right, I'll buy that. So you didn't have any role in that, but Wyatt Black comes out during your match. He also comes out during the Enoch and Harper match. So you must have something to say. Now, I know the history between Wyatt Black and Riku. Okay, I get that. But what did you have to make on that?
I mean, Wyatt Black is a part of us now. And I mean, I wasn't out there because one, I was dealing with some stuff in the back, as usual. But however, I think it's fitting because with the group, we should be out there supporting one another. However, it might be controversial, but I'm going to put this out here. We do what we want and we're running it. Sorry, not sorry.
So Wyatt Black going out there, that wasn't, let's just say, orchestrated. That wasn't orchestrated. That he came out there during your match and came out there during Enoch's match with Harper. So that you had you're saying you had zero to do with that and zero to do with what happened with Riku and her father, which obviously, I mean, no one saw that one coming. That I really think that was the turn heard round the world. I mean, legitimately, I mean, I know someone here is in the chat has a comment on that. I'll get to them. They were here yesterday, but I don't think anybody saw that coming in the Richardson building. I mean, that to me, I don't have an explanation on that. I thought maybe you would.
I don't. I'm innocent. I'm innocent. I promise.
Mm-hmm.
I promise.
Mm-hmm.
I may pay it off the ref one time, but this time I'm innocent. I promise you.
And Wyatt Black coming out there, you had zero to do with that either then.
Nope. Innocent. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. But I'm innocent.
And you just have to go out. You're sick and twisted. You go out there and you compete and you retain your championship. You were able to retain your championship and whatever happens afterward. Well, let me ask you, what do you think happens between Riku and her father going forward? What do you have to say there? I mean, is that something that is of any interest to you at all?
I think if people remember when she slapped him in the face, he really did nothing to do. He did nothing about it. So maybe that's just getting revenge on her. I don't know. But
after what happened the last time they were in the ring, I mean, that definitely didn't come up.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, he did nothing about it, and he was like, push it to the side. But if I was him, I would have done the same thing. Especially where she's trying to get the championship that she doesn't deserve yet.
So really,
did I say that?
No, you can say you can say anything you want. We're live. We don't do second takes on here. We don't push the record button and the pause button. No, we're live in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. So you can say whatever you want, and I'm not going to stop you. And I highly doubt anyone in this chat is going to stop you. So really, you do what you have to do to keep your championship. Riku St. Helen didn't deserve to be in the ring with you, didn't deserve that title shot. And really, everybody else get in the back of the line, and you're going to be champion for months and years to come.
Yes, 100%. Now, when the day this leaves me, I'm going to get it back. People need to remember who I am.
Take that championship. Show the audience that championship. Because now we put it the wide angle. Look at that prize here. This is the richest prize in all of wrestling, that WWF Women's Championship. You can see what that means. you can see that the sick and twisted Jayde May is going to keep this championship for months and years to come. Who is going to stop the Institute? The Institute are also in action here coming up tomorrow night. They'll be here, and it'll be a 6-man tag. It'll be the aforementioned controversy king Wyatt Black, the hybrid champion, the Chemical Valley gunslinger James Enoch, and our reigning defending WVWF World Heavyweight Champion Aaron James. They will be in action against Tony Sane, Nate Steele, and also one Damian Abel. It'll be certainly one to remember. The doors open at 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock is when the bell rings, and you better be there or be square. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, we're all music and wrestling matters. Now, I'm going to get to the chat in a minute. There are some people here that want to say some things. They're starting to get a little antsy, so I'm going to give them that opportunity in a minute. But, when it comes to the Institute, I mean, is there any goals you have or anything that you want to do? I mean, I see tag team championships are being created. I see we have a tag team tournament on the horizon. I think about the Institute, and I go back to Wyatt Black, and I go back to some things he said here on his last appearance on Sportswire Radio. You, champ, have the women's championship. I see you're going to keep that for a long time from now. I see Enoch has got the hybrid championship. He's made it clear, like, look, I'll defend the championship against anybody. I'll talk about him in a few minutes. And he wants to make the hybrid championship, the measuring stick championship, and worth more than it's ever been. And, of course, Aaron James is our reigning defending WVWF World Heavyweight Champion. Goes without saying. But maybe tag team championships are on the horizons for you guys. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, of course, any gold is awesome, any title. But the goal for the Institute is that we are looking to total domination. Total domination of WWF. Like I said, we're running it, and that's how we're going to do it. We play by our rules, and that's how it's going to be.
Now, Tony Sane, who's obviously had his own issues with Wyatt Black, and Damian Abel, who certainly had quite a history with Mr. Enoch and Mr. James, and Nate Steele, really, maybe they should just get out of the way. Maybe they shouldn't show up tomorrow. I mean, you think that maybe these guys who are going to be in action tomorrow, that really, if they didn't know what's best for them, they should find something else to do, or you think they should show up anyway? What do you think?
I'll put it this way. I hope they do show up. Okay, I hope they do show up, but I would be totally surprised if they start running away.
Well, it's
because I know this match is going to be brutal. I know this match is going to mean war for our guys. But one thing is true, and I hope for their sake they're not going to be scaredy cats tomorrow. I hope they're not scaredy cats.
Well, you know what? I'm going to certainly leave that at that. But it's interesting because Tony Sane has obviously been feuding with Wyatt Black for weeks. We know what Damian Abel, his history is. Now we add Nate Steele to this mix. Are you concerned in any way that these guys might be really motivated tomorrow night and look to push back and show that they can even the odds and come together and get a much-needed victory, not only for them as a team, but also for individuals? Does that concern you at all? Because after all, this is heat wave chaos. I mean, this is going to be just unfiltered heat wave chaos where chaos is going to descend upon to the Richardson building, and Tony Sane, Nate Steele, and Damian Abel have nothing to lose right now.
I would be lying and saying I'm not nervous, but I don't think having them as a threat to the Institute is my concern. My concern is that we need to have our head in the game and remember what we came to do. And they are good competitors. I will say Tony Sane, Nate Steele, and Damian Abel, they're heck of competitors. Heck, I wouldn't want to get in the ring with them on my worst days or my best days. But at the same time, I know what my guys can do. I know what the Institute can do. And I truly believe that we are going to get that win tomorrow. We will win tomorrow.
Now,
that is a fact.
Well, we're going to find that. We're going to find that out. But I want to talk about Nate Steele for a minute, because Nate Steele is a man that obviously wants a championship. And some people feel, once again, because of Wyatt Black, that Nate Steele he could be walking around right now as the Mountain State champion. Wyatt Black got involved in something that really, I'm not sure how it pertained to him. And my guest Sunday night, just so you know, at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, is a man that kind of benefited in some way from the Institute. That's Beefomania himself, the Mountain State champion Dax Preacher. And I ask, what did you guys have really any beef, you might want to say, with Nate Steele? And this is a man that has fought so hard. This is a man that has wanted nothing more than being a champion. And he had that opportunity. And some would say you denied him of that opportunity. And why did Wyatt Black get involved in his match? And I'm going to ask Dax Preacher his thoughts on all this.
It's surprising to me that people didn't realize that we're going to go after everyone and anyone. Anyone that's in our way, we're going after them. So it's surprising to me. So I'll ask that question. I'll ask a question to your question.
Sure.
Why don't they pay attention? They should have been listening to me from the start. I've said to all of these losers that they need to pay attention. Take notes. We have gave notice. We have given everything that we are going to do. So it's surprising to me that these blinders on their eyes are not focusing on what's in front of them.
But Nate Steele, but Dax Preacher's the beneficiary of this, which I'm confused on that. Dax Preacher's the almost antithesis, of what you guys bring to the table, regardless of whether you like or not like. And Dax Preacher, I mean, he had his own issues with Nate Steele, and it seemed like those guys were just gonna fight it out in a last man standing match. And I'm confused as to why this would all benefit Dax Preacher. I mean, I'm going to ask Mr. Preacher his feelings on what happened during the match Sunday night, but I'm confused as to how he benefited it. But why would you want to benefit him? What did you guys have to do with this?
Well, see, here's the thing. One person has to get punishment. See, what is the orchestrator doing? The orchestrator is doing puppet master. And that is what we call fair game, love and war, honey. That is what we
all
are
is fair
doing.
Love and war. I heard that term. But Nate Steele had an opportunity to win a major championship, the first singles championship of his career. I mean, why did you guys, and specifically Wyatt Black, deny that man of that opportunity? This man has been in this sport for a decade. I know you've been here the last 2 years, building the WVWF, building the women's division. You hold that richest prize that almost everybody in our sport wants, that WVWF Women's Championship. But why allow this to happen or deny Nate Steele that opportunity to win his first major championship? If you had an issue with him, let him and Dax Preacher fight it out. Then after the match, you could even attack both men. That's what I'm curious on.
You see, Nate Steele just got caught in the crossfire of what we call, he may have too much pride. And we had to make him understand, you win some, you lose some. You can't always win. And maybe that was his mind. I don't know. I'm just saying, he got caught in the fire here, and
he did. Yeah.
I don't got answers for you on that one because we like to keep things.
Well, you're going to certainly keep them certainly tight-lipped and sealed. There's no question that you're going to do that, and that's another reason why you need to be there at the Richardson building. Maybe you'll give us some answers if you're going to watch the show, and we'll talk about it here on Sportswire Radio. But to me, again, the Institute was front and center in almost every single match, and I just almost think about it, especially Nate Steele had the opportunity to win his first singles championship of his decorated career, and he had that opportunity. I'm going to ask Dax Preacher his thoughts on that. And Wyatt Black, I mean, he did address the fact that Dax Preacher was the beneficiary of all this. That's, to me, the ironic thing. And then Mr. Black talked about his own things on Beefomania. I mean, so do you guys have future plans for Dax Preacher? I have to ask that question at the very least. I mean, is there plans for him? Because, I mean, right now you've got gold. Enoch's got gold. James has got gold. And that would leave Wyatt Black.
Maybe, maybe not. It's one of those things that we're paying attention to who's around. And if you are what we consider top talent, maybe you'll join the Institute, maybe not. However, I consider the Institute top talent at WWF.
I think that there's no question about that. No one's denying that you guys are certainly the premier faction right now. And I'm going to certainly no longer deny my chat of getting the opportunity to talk to you. So I'm going to bring the chat into the conversation. We're going to see what they have to say. And I want to talk to you about James Enoch. And I want to talk to you about Aaron James after we get through some of these comments here, because I have a feeling that we have a number of them to talk about. Zilla is in the house. She is a big fan of yours no matter what. We thank Zilla very much for tuning in. Thank you, Zilla. And she does like and appreciate you. Yep, we definitely appreciate you as well. She is also a big fan of the Institute no matter what. And she still loves, likes, respects, and appreciates the Institute. You can say that again. And also she wants to say that Jayde May is cool and awesome and amazing. And she loves her gimmick. Well, there you go. And the Institute is her favorite faction of all time in the WWF. And I see the point. I see the point. I want to say hello to another. By the way, there's another Jayde. She's from Iowa. She's saying hello. So she's from Iowa.
Hi.
You're from West Virginia. And Princess Jayde. And her uncle is Soldier GP, who's one half of the IMF champions. Yep, our friends in the IMF. Kind of like your counterparts in Iowa. You're in West Virginia. Hello to Wyatt Black, although he's not here in the chat, but you can say hello to him. But speaking of people that are outsiders that are also on that poster tomorrow, Daniel Tapu. Now, he's got some comments that you're going to probably not agree with as much, but he is here, and he will probably have a few things that you'll address. You know, speaking of people, I guess I should bring it up. You know, Godric Sandwell is always been on Sportswire many times over the past year. He's returning to the Richardson building tomorrow. And I was curious. I know you've got plenty of history with Phoebe Harper, the fabulous Phoebe Harper, and he wants to have a talk with Phoebe Harper tomorrow. I mean, what, you know, from afar, what is your opinion on all of this?
Listen, I understand where he's coming from with what he said earlier about not wanting to face women and that he just wants to talk. He's not there to fight because a gentleman doesn't fight a lady. I get that. However, I have respect for Phoebe. And we did a lot of talking in the ring, and I have respect. I have respect for Phoebe. So I don't know if he should watch his back or if he should face up to it. I don't know. I don't have a good advice for him right now.
What do you think about, you know, I guess then since you talked about it and I put the matchup here, which will tie into Mr. Enoch next. But I mean, going to have a chat with Phoebe Harper, I mean, what could you think? I mean, we don't usually see a chat in the middle of a wrestling ring. I mean, you know, he said we got off on the wrong foot and, you know, I don't wrestle women normally. And I mean, so what's the purpose of all this? That's what I'm confused on.
Same. You know, the thing is with Phoebe, I feel like me and her having one thing understanding. Like I said, I have respect for her. Again, we'll meet our time in the ring again. But at the same time, I feel like if Godric was going to stand there and try to talk, she may flip her lid. We may see a Phoebe that we've never seen before. Who knows? So I don't know what to tell him, either to run or grow a pair of balls and face her. I don't know. I don't know.
I guess we're going to find out. I suppose that's really the only thing I can say. And, you know, Phoebe's in action here. I put it up because that's the match on the WVWF's YouTube page. If you want to watch the full show, Mary Bonham has it on her Facebook page. You can sit through the whole thing. But, you know, some people were upset with this match. Obviously, you were very happy with it because Mr. Enoch, who was here last Friday, was successful. And some people felt that he went too far in this matchup. What is your opinions on what we saw last week?
I don't think he went too far. She's
Mhm.
the one that started it, and he's the one that finished it. So, in all honesty, like I said, fair game. And if she wanted to have a match, she had it. What can I say? You win some, you lose some. And unfortunately for her, my guy James Zanuck won. And we're gonna keep getting wins. That's the thing. We're gonna keep getting wins until we have a total domination.
Well, we might be on that road to that. There is certainly that possibility that we could very well be on that road to it. Will it be Tony Sane? Will it be Nate Steele and Damian Abel standing in the way? I don't know. Will other outsiders have something to say on that? We'll have to stay tuned. Hello to Daniel Tafu and Godric Samuel. Also, Mr. Samuel is addressing you. Jayde, you still give this gentleman the creeps. Now with some backing.
Yeah. Good.
I don't know. I don't know how to take that, but I'll go on to the next comment. Hit the sub button for the WVWF. We appreciate that. Move forward here. And Mr. Sandwell also wants to address a price to pay with a question mark. What's the currency exchange?
Maybe you and I have some talking to do, or maybe I'll just bring the orchestrator and we will have a conversation, Mr. Godwick.
Well, something says to me that Mr. Sandwell in that case may not be bringing his preferred beverage. He may not be needing that. But speaking of people that kind of agreed about what happened to Riku St. Helen, it's about time. Riku's dad was a father. She needed tough love, and no one blamed you. That's my guest yesterday, Miss Courtney Wood, the female Dave Meltzer and Wade Keller, of course, who writes for us here in the WVWF. And what do you think on that?
I mean, at the same time, like, I agree. I mean, I can't say I don't. Courtney and I've had hit heads before. She's given me disrespect.
Team Phoebe all the way. She was talking about it all last Friday, and she reminded me last night she's Team Phoebe, Team Phoebe.
Oh, I know. But look who's the champ.
That's true. Yes, you are holding that prize. And Miss Harper is not holding that prize, and Miss Harper is not also holding the hybrid championship. And hello. Let's see. Yep, more pageantries. Let's get to some other comments. It's not your fault. You are the real WVWF Women's Champion. Yes, she's here with us right now. But Daniel Tafua has a comment that I told you would probably disagree with. The collective can stop the Institute. What do you think on that?
Do you think so?
Ampo the Destroyer. I mean, the collective certainly they look to collect.
I give them credit, but they're going to come up short. They're going to come up short. That is a fact. Respect to them. Keep trying because I don't think so. I'm sorry.
You don't think so? So you're not at all worried about what they could bring to the table?
Oh, no. I'm not worried about the collective at all.
Okay.
Under the rug.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, that's what you're going to tell us. And obviously also Mr. Samuel would like to say, even an outsider knows I think, jeopardy of someone sick and twisted. You are certainly sick and twisted. And obviously, some people weren't happy with the outcome of this match. But Dave Jameson, Ampo the Destroyer, and Brittany Storm, I can see it because it's reality. He mentioned Brittany Storm there. Brittany Storm, remember that name?
You make me laugh. Brittany was the easiest for me. That is hilarious. So if she wants to step up, step up. You lost to me. That's why you're not the champ anymore. Brittany Storm lost to me. And that's funny. So if they want to step up, let's have a conversation in the back tomorrow, shall we? This is going to be interesting because the orchestrator and all of us will have a conversation. Let's have a conversation tomorrow then. I'll see you face to face tomorrow. That's hilarious.
Oh well, we'll find out. That offense that Mr. Enoch had from Miss Harper, definitely you didn't find hilarious. You were happy about that. Some maybe felt it was too much, but that's how it goes. And there is Mr. Wyatt Black coming into the ring. He certainly made quite a presence felt at the last show here, Let Freedom Ring. And we're going to be having some heat wave chaos, some unfiltered heat wave chaos. It's descending tomorrow night here, coming up over at the Richardson building. That is the WVWF's YouTube page. Please go out there, hit the sub button for them. We'll take this off the screen for now and come back to some more comments. And that's a cool belt. I love the design of it. But speaking of somebody that's going to be there tomorrow and doesn't at all agree with anything you've said tonight, don't worry, Jayde. I'm not running. The chaos I create will be a heat wave in this business. That's one of the people standing across the apron from your Institute brethren. And what do you think on that?
Well, the one words that I have to say to you, Tony Sane, is good. Because I'm glad you'll show up tomorrow and do your job. Just remember, you're still a rookie. Don't get an ego yet, hon. Don't get an ego yet. And as for your saying you choose to create Heatwave, the Institute is already being put on notice. So before you open your mouth, prove it to me tomorrow in the ring. Prove it to me tomorrow.
Well, if you would have asked me that Wyatt Black would be a veteran compared to Tony Sane, I would have said, I don't know if I would have bought that, but that is the case right now. And Wyatt Black talked about he has now been in the WVWF for over a year. He has now been here for over a year training and wrestling, and that is the case. So we'll have to see. And thank you, Tony. And hit the sub button for us if you are here on Sportswire Radio. We'd appreciate that. And definitely follow the WVWF and go out there and check them out on Facebook, Instagram, and all other platforms. And also, we are on the YouTube channel of my original YouTube page. So if you are here, you want to hit the sub button for us there. You can stay up to date with some of the stuff. That is YouTube at the Ring Fever 5786. So hit the sub button for us there. You can keep in touch, and we'll have more WVWF coverage Sunday night with Dax Preacher, the Mountain State champion. I'll be very curious what he has to say about some of the things you said tonight, because he was the beneficiary of what happened out there between you guys coming in his match, that last man standing match. So please certainly tune in for that, but also hit the sub button for us here on our YouTube channel. But let me get to some more comments, because I do have some other comments to get through. And also we have here coming up, here you go. This is one that a lot of people may want to see you all do. Kick Wyatt out. He's using you all to get close to a championship. He's going to sneak attack someone soon. You know, Wyatt Black was a part of 3 different matches where he made his presence felt. He's been very quiet here tonight. Usually he's in the chat. He's on Sportswire coming in and having something to say. But do you trust Wyatt Black? I mean, that's an interesting question. Do you trust him? What is your thoughts on that, champ?
It's interesting that you brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say this. If he tries that, he better watch his back. Also, the orchestrator is very perceptive of who he chooses. So, in the end, it's not us getting screwed. It will be him. So, if he's listening to this now, just so you know, we have close words before. Don't make me regret bringing you to the orchestrator.
But I would think that Mr. Black would be hearing those words because it's summer. He's not in school right now. He doesn't have a curfew. I mean, now that he's with the Institute, I mean, he's certainly wide awake. So, and you make a point that's rather interesting and maybe well worth to consider, that it wouldn't be screwing you. It wouldn't be screwing Mr. Enoch or certainly Mr. James, but he would be screwing the orchestrator. And we know that the conversation between Black and the orchestrator several weeks ago. So, I mean, that would be going above and beyond his means and punching well above his weight to screw any of you all. I mean, that would make for some of the worst repercussions anybody could have. No?
See, I'm glad somebody has the facts. Without facts and without understanding, you just look dumb. And that's the reason why some people just are not understanding what our goal and achievements have been already.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, we are very
Mm-hmm.
perceptive, and we have took notice, and we have had a very strong talk to Mr. Black. So if he ends up doing that, it would be very bad for him, not for us. And we would never lose gold. Just say it.
Well, I mean, listen, those are things certainly to ponder, and I do have a quasi legal background, so I do have some of that. But we'll move on and get to some more comments. Top flight talent, huh? Might want to keep an eye on things. Mr. Sandwell, who I am sure will be back on here in the month of August, will duly have different things to say. But I'll be very curious what happens in this chat between him and Phoebe Harper tomorrow. I mean, that's just a chat. I mean, I don't know what you basically gave me. You gave me, listen, champ, I got to say with all due respect, you made me more confused after some of the things you said, because I now have less idea of what's going to happen between those two tomorrow. And they're not having a match, but be that as it may, yes, hello to the other Jade who's out there in the chat. And how dare you show this vile footage of that animal mauling my women's champion, the first ever. See, I told you that power bomb toward the end of the match and the offense that Mr. Enoch had used during the match. Miss Wood was not a fan of that and felt it was inappropriate. And that's obviously something I'm sure you have an opinion on, no?
See, she keeps saying her champion, Phoebe Harper. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I beat her, so address me as your champion.
Well, she's also saying that Miss Harper would be her hybrid champion, because she's saying that really she should have won Saturday. What do you think on that?
She's lost, and she lost to me. So to understand that, again, she is good. Mm-hmm. She's good. Respectfully, right. She needs to realize, Miss Courtney, thing. She is lost.
Yeah.
You're champion. Oh, she's lost.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm not good at many things, but I do know that you don't get do-overs in wrestling. They don't give you asterisks, and they don't redo a match if it's already happened. But Courtney certainly has her feelings, and I'm going to get to some more feelings from those in the chat. Hashtag Phoebe is my champion. Here's Mr. Sandwell further. Should that day come to meet this orchestrator, best have my preferred beverage and lava cake. Something tells me that you're not going to do either.
No, we don't take demands. Too bad.
Okay.
Don't know what happened. But unfortunately,
I think the orchestrator orchestrated my Wi-Fi to come back. They didn't like it, but
he may not have.
no, I just, for whatever reason, internet's a funny thing. Let's go back to some more comments. Hey, champ, when are you going to stop ducking Dax Preacher? ? He wants his shot at the WVWF Women's Championship. Now, he's going to be here Sunday night. Now, obviously, we've talked on many shows about double champions out there. That has certainly been a topic. Mr. Enoch had brought that up last week about a double championship. We'd asked him that question. We know Aaron James holds the World Heavyweight Championship, but would you like to answer this comment here?
Miss Courtney, I'm not ducking. I'm just waiting for it to be booked. I'm not running. I'll prove it. I'm not running. So if the day comes that me and Dex will be in the ring, it'll be a pleasure.
Would you like me to? Now, Mr. Preacher's going to be here at 8:30 p.m., and I'm sure you would probably may or may not want me to preach that comment to Mr. Preacher himself, right? Get a preacher preaching, and maybe I could preach to him about this and see what he thinks. What is your opinion?
He can say all he wants to say. It's just meeting him in the ring one day.
Okay. Well, he's got, I'm sure, In the short-term future, probably, I'm sure, comments he wants to address about some of the things you said tonight about Nate Steele. I'm sure he's going to want to address what Wyatt Black said about him earlier this week. And I have no doubt he'll have an opinion on what happens tomorrow night. We'll get Dax Preacher here at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. You'll get the fallout of what happens here at Heatwave Chaos. So do that and more. But hit the sub button for our old page. And also want to say hello to my friend from California, Mr. Trifco Black. I hope all is well. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well, my friend. And hope you come back on. Say hello to my very good buddy, my very good promoter in the great state of California, Mr. Darrow Johnson. And speaking of people that are returning to Sportzwire Radio in 2 weeks now, you are definitely sick and twisted, Jayde May. You are definitely the women's champion for a reason. But this guy, Chase Wakefield, he's really testing the limits of sick and twisted because he's going to get married, which we're congratulating him on, but he's going to have a wrestling show while getting married. I mean, I don't know if that could be a sick and twisted idea, but here's the catch, champ. His better half, his soon-to-be wife, she's more for the idea than he is. So, maybe you'll get booked on this wedding invitational. It's the Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitational, and it's going to take place probably in the next month or so. And Pennsylvania and West Virginia aren't too far from each other. And this guy must be really sick and twisted, don't you think, to have a wedding on top of it with a wrestling super show? What do you think?
That's brilliant. I don't see why that's sick and twisted. I think it's brilliant. So kudos to you, and I would love to meet your wife. I would love to meet your wife because that is brilliant.
Well, I'll tell you what. I will bring this up. He's here 2 weeks from tomorrow, and I'll tell this gentleman to invite the WVWF to his wedding because West Virginia and Pennsylvania, on the map, they aren't too far from each other. So I'm sure that he got the memo now. He'll definitely get that memo. And thank you, Mr. Wakefield. And yours truly is obviously, he's leaning on me to help fund his wedding. But I do have deep pockets, but we'll see. But thank you, Mr. Wakefield. Even rookies, though, make history. Can't wait for tomorrow.
Oh, Tony, you're in for a treat.
Tony the Tiger, they don't call him. But you better eat your Frosted Flakes. They're great. But it was on sale today, and I didn't get it because I don't eat cereal. But yes, hello to Trifco. I haven't seen Trifco in ages on my chats. But yes, thank you. And Brittany Storm is somebody that has quite a history with Jayde May. So you can check that on the WVWF's Facebook page and also Instagram and YouTube as well. But if this orchestrator didn't like what I got to say, I'm not difficult to find. What do you make of that?
Okay. And neither is he, Mr. Sandwell.
Yeah.
We shall see how this goes tomorrow.
I could not agree with you more on that. Also, ask Felix. I'm not sure what I'm asking Felix on her and her company. I'm not sure what I'm asking him on. We'll elaborate, and I'll come back to him. Hello, my good friend, Mr. Sandwell. Good to see you, sir. And, okay, eyeballs. All right, you know what? I want to go back to Aaron James. I want to talk about a few other things here in the WWF, but I got something for you that I want to give you because you are sick and twisted. I don't want to be in the crosshairs of the Institute. I don't want to join the likes of Tony Sane and Nate Steele and Phoebe Harper and everybody else out there. So I want to put this up on my screen because it is Jayde May Day on Sportswire Radio. So congratulations. So I know that, like I said, I don't want to be in the crosshairs of the Institute. So it is your day. I will give you the physical copy when we're off the air. Congratulations, champ. I know it doesn't mean as much as the women's championship, but we'll give this to you when we're off the air. And yeah, definitely don't turn me into the rest of everybody else that you have total domination for. And we'll keep this here with us for a minute. And speaking of people that want to rain on your parade, also, Jayde May, listen and heed my nightmares. They sometimes become a daydream. But to be honest, it's collective country, the cause of reckoning, that also becomes the truth and reality. That sounds like some riddles of people I know. I mean, what do you think on that?
Nice try. I mean, I applaud you for trying. Oh, I'm crying. I'm so scared. No. Come on. Let's get real. Day and Ampo, whenever this tag team tournament and they meet face to face with my guys, oh, that daydream you're talking about becomes a crushing chaos. So you know. So you know.
Interesting, because you referenced those tag team champions. And I have somebody that just arrived here in the chat that I don't even know what they have to say about what's going on with you all in the Institute. But you referenced those tag team championships, and I had asked you about that earlier in the show tonight, and that does sound like that's something that the Institute has in their sights, but also the collective has in their sights. Interesting.
Well, since WWF decided that they were going to put on this tag team tournament, of course, we're all wanting gold. Of course, gold is great, but however, when you come into our crossfire, you're just gonna get chaos. So don't even try. I mean, good luck for you, but don't even try. It's kind of sad. It's pitiful. But guess what? We're going to write on your parade because we'll be at the top and you can like it. You can take it and digest it. You can be mad about it. I don't care. It's up to you. It's up to you.
Listen, I see it's getting tense, but, think about this. We know Hype Man Dan Lasers and Chris Phoenix, also outsiders, they've made their case for the tag team championships. Chris Phoenix was here several weeks ago and talked about that, sort of alluding to that. And then you've got this guy, Dave Jamieson. I know Dave Jamieson for a long time. And this guy, Ampo the Destroyer, a guy that I had on here. I mean, if those guys are in this tournament, you got Chris Phoenix and Hype Man Dan Lasers, whoever you put up in the Institute, I mean, this could certainly be maybe a huge roadblock for the Institute's total goal of total domination, don't you think?
No.
No?
No. I don't think so. I think that everyone will give their good best try, but at the end of the day, the Institute will be on top of WWF. We are taking over. Understand that. We are taking over, and we are going to prove it. I'm not just saying it. We're going to prove it.
Well, we'll find out. I think that's going to really be, to me, the tag team tournament to crown tag team champions here. I think that, to me, is going to be maybe the most interesting thing that plays out this summer. Where do we go from here with that? And I think that is going to be where the Institute could have some serious competition. And if you're here, hit the sub button for me, hit the sub button for the WWF's page. Also, hello to Braxy's Gaming. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the sub button for us. Hit the sub button for the WVWF. And also, I'll get to Mr. Tafua one more time because he's going to hit the road. And maybe he's hitting the road really to the Richardson building early. See you all soon. The red door has been opened. The forces of light and darkness intertwine, opening the gates of chaos. Boy, I didn't know Daniel Tafua was a poet. I didn't know that he was Socrates, but apparently Plato is called, and Daniel Tafua is doing his best attempts there at that. But, I have a comment from a questionable person that, it came up last week on the show, but I don't know where he stands in all of this. And this is a guy named Cody Maverick. Cody Maverick, who wrestled James Enoch, and Mr. Enoch had a few things to say about him, as you're well aware of. They wrestled not too long ago. And I was wondering what your opinions are on Cody Maverick. Obviously, the lovable Lester denied Mr. Maverick his opportunity to be interjected into the match between Phoebe Harper and James Enoch last week. Maverick has certainly made his case. Mr. Enoch basically kind of demurred. He said, look, I'll face anybody, but he had his time. Lester basically said no. And what do you think about this fellow, Cody Maverick, and just where he stands right now?
I mean, Maverick is a good dude. I'll give him respect, but at the same time, you can't just force your way into thinking you're going to get him.
Came up short there. The Ryan James Memorial Show
Hybrid
Championship came out, wasn't even announced on the card. Wrestled Mr. Enoch. Things happened, but he came up short. And I don't know what you thought. I was wondering what you had to say on Mr. Maverick.
Well, see, the thing is you pushed your way too much, and that's the reason why you got no, and you came up short. You came up short. So why do you deserve another chance? Why? Prove to me why. Prove to the GM why. Prove to the owner why. Prove to the booker why. Because as I see it, Cody Maverick, you don't deserve another shot. You came up short. Just all respect, brother. Just all respect. Just all respect. I guess. I don't.
I think that's really, to me, and what happens here this summer. Where do we go from here with Cody Maverick? I have no idea, especially now with this new landscape. The Institute now with Mr. Black joining, and certainly with what you guys have wanted tonight. What I learned tonight on Sportswire Radio is that the Institute wants total domination, and I don't know what this leaves and where do we go from here with Cody Maverick. I think that's a big question mark going forward. We got this tag team tournament, and there are others that have put their names in for it, and Cody Maverick wanted his shot back at the hybrid title, and the lovable Lester said no, and that kind of closed the door on that. And I don't know where a veteran like Cody Maverick goes from here, and I'll talk to him about it. I have no doubt that he will, talk about it. I mean, we'll have to see.
I mean, I don't know. All I know is that maybe Maverick, it's time to put the boots in the middle of the ring and retire. Ooh, I didn't mean to be so mean or so harsh, but I mean, you had a good run. You had a good run. Maybe. Listen, maybe coming back and working your way to the top again, or just retire. I mean, who knows? All respect, no hate, but things to consider. I mean, I don't know what it looks for him or what his plans are, but definitely something to consider there, Maverick. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, look, we'll find out. We'll have to see.
For
Time
sure.
will tell. But okay. Two Jades that watch Sportswire. Two's better than one, and two's better than none. And also, Maverick wanted to say this. I got suspended for my promo that he sent out. I mean, what do you think about that? That should he have been suspended?
Well, I have to. I don't want to play the double side coin here, but well, you either forced Double L to do what he had to do and suspended you. I don't necessarily think it's fair, but at the same time, I can't. I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is when you force your way and you open your mouth and you don't support your case, then maybe that's the reason why you got suspended. And hey, like I said, I have to look at Double L and I have to look at you. Like, I honestly, from your side, I can see it unfair. I get it, but at the same time, I have to look at Mr. GM's idea here, and he suspended you. So I guess good luck coming back. Good luck. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, he's got another comment, and I'm going to get right to it. Double L suspended me for 2 shows for my promo I sent that on my YouTube page, or tomorrow I'd be arriving at the Richardson building as the hybrid champion. I know you disagree. You disagree with that last part.
I do. See, I get it. I understand why you're frustrated, but let's not forget one thing. You came up short to Enoch. You came up short. So how about you get in the back of the line? Like I said, get in the back of the line and work your way up and watch how you handle things, because that's why you got suspended. Or you would be coming to the show tomorrow and you would have a match. Right? That's how things work. Or am I just a Lulu here?
You are sick and twisted, but I mean, certainly some things, you make sense for. But I mean, I would like to have seen Maverick compete. I would have liked to have seen him compete last weekend, and I would like to see him be there, because I don't know where Maverick falls into all of this. I mean, I know he wanted another crack at that hybrid championship, but Lester said no. But then to go further and to suspend him for this coming show tomorrow night, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
If I could understand where Double L's brain is, then I can go, I have answers for you. However, again, you opened your mouth, wrong time, wrong place, and handed to the wrong situation, man. I mean, I can't take what Double L did. However, I can understand why, but no, I disagree on that last part there, sir, that you said you would be arriving at the Richardson building tomorrow as Cyber Champion. You came up short, bud. You came up short. James Enoch beat you fair and square. Remember? Or are you delulu?
Yeah, I mean, he's saying, well, this is what, well, you're going to definitely disagree with this. I was working my way up while you were paying for a ticket. Now, I'm sure you strongly have a disagreement with that.
Good one. Good one. We'll have some words, Maverick. I'll see you in person. I'll have some words for you face to face.
Well, he can't be there, though, tomorrow, so you can't have any words with him.
The next time. I'll catch him. For sure. For sure. Or maybe not. We'll see.
Well, I mean, I guess obviously some strong commentary from Maverick. Unlike previous Maverick appearances on Sportswire, I'll be very curious to what he has to say after this show back on Sportswire. I'll tell you what, champ, I'm very curious what Dax Preacher has to say Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And I'll be very curious to what Cody Maverick has to say almost anytime he comes back on this platform. I mean, I've noticed that there's a lot of people that have a lot of things to say on your segment tonight. It makes it even more of a reason why you need to be there tomorrow night at the Richardson building.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be there. I'll be there tomorrow night. And if you want to, why don't you just make the drive? Just make the drive. I know where you live, so why don't you make the drive? Why not just show up and demand like you've had done before?
Well,
if you're suspended and you've already
suspended, he can't show up though. They could turn him away from the building. I mean, he would like to be there. He'd like to compete, but he's told he can't show up.
But what he did earlier is run his mouth, and then that's how he got suspended. So if he's not afraid to run his mouth and how he got suspended, then why don't you just show up? I mean, obviously, yeah, you're probably going to get kicked out of the building because you are suspended. However, if you are brave enough and bold enough to do what you just did on your part, then why don't you just show up? Show up and demand the spot.
Well, he addresses you even further. He says that since the WVWF is an intergender promotion now, what about a women's title? So I guess if the hybrid title's out of the question for now, forget about Dax Preacher and you for that women's title. He wants you in the women's championship.
Okay. How come every time I turn around, some man wants the women's title? I'm not afraid. Get it booked. I will fight.
I guess if you can't beat him, join him.
Do it. I'm not afraid.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But you know what's funny? I hear them talking about you, but how about our champion Aaron James? And he seems like he could be champion for months and years to come, and I don't see anybody in the near and distant future that could top him. What do you think has made Aaron James the champion that's the standard bearer here in the WVWF?
He has always stayed on top for one reason and one reason only, and that is because he knows what he's doing, and he knows how to play the game, just like every single one in the back. But you have to pay the price. So Aaron James paid the price, paved the way for us, and now we're going to be the total dominance that I've been saying. So, again, use your brain. It's all right in front of you. Plain sight. Everything has been right in front of you. And yet, still haven't caught on.
Well, I mean, obviously, there isn't anybody in sight. I mean, do you see anybody that could topple him? Do you see, I mean, is there nobody? So tomorrow night, we see the 6-man tag, and Aaron James should just reign supreme then tomorrow, and just show us to the world why he is the standard, as I said, the standard bearer here.
Maybe one day. Maybe one
Okay.
day somebody
Yeah.
will. However, if I see somebody right now, nah. No, I don't think so. I think he is the champ for a reason, and it's going to stay like that. And unfortunately, people might be upset by that, but at the end of the day, he is who he is, and he is the KS incarnate, and he dominates, and he's going to prove that all the way.
You know what? He's the man right on that poster, and you could see all of our. You're on the poster as well. Obviously, got to be a good feeling that you're on that poster, and we see our champions, and we see Daniel Tafua on the poster. James Enoch, who was here last Friday, and there's Dave Jamison, a man who wrestled the artist formerly known as Fuego del Sol, and definitely that's a reason why you want to see Heatwave Chaos coming up here, which will take place tomorrow night, less than 24 hours from now. That's over at the Richardson Building, 325 7th Street in beautiful Parkersburg, West Virginia. But Mavericks, he ain't going out quietly. He wants to be the first WVWF women's male champion. I mean, I guess that's what the term would be. I don't know, champ. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have no idea, but that's what he's, wanting.
I am the first ever women that has held this title 3 times. You had your shot at beating Brittany Storm, and you had your shot at Phoebe Harper, and now all of a sudden, since I have it, all these men want to come up. I'm like, okay, let's go.
I guess if you can't beat them, join them. I guess that's really what they're saying is they can't. Mavericks had his shot at other titles, and maybe that's the route to get it. I don't know. I have no idea. I really don't know what's in the mind of Cody Maverick. I do know that I am certainly looking forward to what he does next in the WVWF, but that's not going to be tomorrow night. It's going to be next month, and hopefully he'll be there. Obviously, Lester is on assignment, and he will be back soon. But his decision was that he's suspended Mr. Maverick. But there's a lot I've learned tonight before I get to closing thoughts. Coming back to the Institute, obviously, you here are front and center. You are what's the standard bearer here for our women's division. Certainly, I see nobody toppling you in sight. There's now Wyatt Black, who's joined this group to make you even bigger, even better, and badder. Then you've got James Enoch, who said here last week and said in his previous appearance that I'm just here to wrestle. I don't care what the fans think. I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm going out there and I'm going to beat everybody one by one. I'm going to take that hybrid championship and make it a championship that it's never been before. And then Aaron James, by the way, I mean, a man who has held this championship for months, and I have no idea if anybody even coming within striking distance of taking that championship. And you have specifically mentioned the word tonight, total domination. And you could be one step closer to that tomorrow night in that main event, that 6-man tag main event, once the Institute wins that over Tony Staley, over Nate Steele, and Damian Abel. And then I'm sure what you're going to also want is tag team championships to further complete that total domination, because we've got a tag team tournament upcoming. We saw certainly people here tonight lay the claim for their groups and maybe themselves to be a part of that. We've had outsiders on previous streams talk about that. But what I've learned really in recapping before I give you back the microphone, it's total domination that the Institute wants. It starts tomorrow with Wyatt Black, James Enoch, Aaron James against Tony Sane, Nate Steele, and Damian Abel. And then maybe at a later date, those tag team championships. So that's what I've learned tonight. And is there anything else, champ, that you want to get off your chest before I give you closing thoughts?
Yeah, I am just over the fact that everyone wants to say that I'm not doing my job, but clearly I've proven that. It's right here, right?
Yep.
So, again, I welcome all. I welcome all competitors. If they want to face me, get it booked. I'm not scared.
Well, but that's Lester. So I'll have to certainly reinforce that when Lester returns on here. I'll have to reinforce that, maybe remind Mr. Preacher or anybody else that comes on here that you're taking on all competitors. We know the WVWF is an intergender promotion, and maybe that's the case. I don't know. Because, listen, Phoebe Harper, we're not going down that road again. Riku St. Helen, you just beat her. Brittany Storm, let's not even go there. So maybe that's the future. That's what I've learned. You're sick and twisted, so that's the only way it's going to go.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll find out. I'll tell you what, we will certainly find out. And before we get to closing thoughts, it is also Jayde May Day here on Sportswire Radio. And May Day here. Remember the famous May Day. And it's Jayde May Day here on Sportswire Radio. We'll give it a physical copy when we're off the air. And if you're also here, hit the sub button for the WVWF on all of their YouTube channels. And also follow them on Facebook. If you want to buy a ticket to tomorrow's show, if you want to check them out on Instagram, you want to check them out on also any other platform that has them. Also TikTok now. The WVWF is on TikTok, so definitely join the movement, and it'll be plenty of heat wave chaos. We've had heat waves most of the summer here in the Big Apple, and it'll be no different tomorrow night. The Institute will be in action tomorrow in the 6-man tag main event. As a recap, it is going to be the newest member, Wyatt Black, who certainly made his presence felt. He made his presence felt in the hybrid championship match, your match. Also, in the main event, the last man standing match for the Mountain State Championship, we've got James Enoch, who was here last Friday, our hybrid champion. We've got our world champion, Aaron James, the standard bearer here in the WVWF. Goes without saying with what he's done. And then they're going to be up against Tony Sane, who certainly, maybe he's got Tony the Tiger in him. Also, Damian Abel and Nate Steele, who is going to be a big topic Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, when our Mountain State champion, Dax Preacher, is here. But Wyatt Black, maybe he has him insights. He talked about Beefomania, and he's wanted to end Beefomania in the past. So we'll have to figure that out. And, by the way, I believe he has a victory over him still. So that's another thing. So stay tuned. Yeah, he's got a victory over him. So we'll bring that up, I'm sure, undoubtedly. But let me get to the floor. Let me get you some closing thoughts and anything else you want to plug, share, or say. And I'm going to pass the floor to you. I'll put the poster up, champ, and take it away.
All right. So, of course, here's where it gets very personal.
Uh-oh.
At the same time, I want people to realize that the Institute is going to prove something tomorrow night. If you have been paying close attention, this shouldn't shock you. But at the same time, it may. I don't know. But at the same time, I play sick and twisted. If you step up to me, it's either step up or shut up. And that's all I have to say on that one.
I've heard that term here on previous streams with wrestlers that came on here without even mentioning it. Put up or shut up. And right now, I don't see anybody that's putting up against Jayde May. I don't see anybody that's putting up right now against Aaron James. And James, I've had James Enoch here on at least 2 occasions, and he'll be back here in a few weeks again. So spoiler alert. So you got plenty of WVWF coverage on the way here. And oh, by the way, Jayde May is on the poster, by the way. Yeah, May Day. She's on the poster. And yes, you can find them on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok now, Instagram. They're on there. And it's only $10. Like I said, I spent, champ, $30+ on dinner on Tuesday. $30+ here in Manhattan. You could have, for that money, bought nearly 4 tickets. They would have probably gave you the 4 tickets. So go out there. There's no front row tickets. It's not needed because it's going to be children and 5 under free. Purchase tickets at the door. Concessions are available. Card is always subject to change, but I have no doubt that the heat wave chaos, regardless, is going to continue. I am excited about it. I can't wait for Sunday's show. I can't wait to talk about Saturday's show. Also, Mary Bonahome, I think her name to say it, on Facebook, she posts these shows. So if you're hundreds of miles away like me, you have a chance to watch the show, please do her.
Absolutely.
WVWF. To go out there and because my mic just went out. But yeah, the WVWF's YouTube page, that's where you can go find some more information on it and hit the sub button for them, and you'll keep up to date with all the great stuff. And before we go, also, Jayde May slays. Yeah, she definitely slayed. She slayed tonight. She had plenty to say, and I definitely think she'll be back a lot more often on Sportswire Radio. I agree. And yes, we're going to say goodbye and hit the sub button for us. Hit the sub button for the WV. Congratulations. I appreciate you and appreciate you spending the time with us here and not slaying us like you could have, because you are sick and twisted after all. And congratulations on the success. Thank you for all that you've done for our sport. Thank you for you and the Institute for granting us some time here tonight before tomorrow's busy show. And be safe out there getting to the venue. And can't wait to talk with you and the rest of the Institute after tomorrow night's show. And I'm sure you'll be tuning in somewhere or another with what Mr. Beefomania Dax Preacher has to say, and some, I'm sure. Well, we'll find out. But yes, have a good night, everybody. And this is the WVWF Women's Champion, the sick and twisted Jayde May of the premier faction right now in the WVWF, that is the Institute. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally with all music and wrestling matters. If you are here on Sportswire Radio, you can go back to your regular scheduled programming. I will be here, though, tomorrow night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time with Torrance Banks. Torrance Banks will be here live, and we'll talk about a number of different topics. But Sunday night, 8:30, Mr. Mountain State Champion himself, Beefomania's Dax Preacher. Boy, so much to talk about with him. Nate Steele, Wyatt Black, the Institute, just a lot of what's going to unfold tomorrow night on Heat Wave Chaos. So definitely tune into that one. But until then, hit the sub button for us in the WVWF. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the number one global radio station, that is Sportswire Radio, where all music and wrestling matters. Have a great night, everybody. See you tomorrow.